That time is coming when you start to wish and you will not be able to do it. Right now, you have the ability to wish and you have the ability to do what you wish for. Step back and ask yourself, what really makes me busy? Busy serving everybody but impacting nobody? Who are the people I'm making happy while I'm sad? Who are the people that I wanted them to clap for me so bad at the expense of my peace, of my joy, of my energy? Does it worth it? Is it sustainable? Is this what I want for the rest of my life? Hello and welcome back to Moments of Growth and Transformation with your darling host, Tosin Opelua. I'm a mental health professional and a certified transformation coach. I make videos that help people grow and experience transformation in every areas of their lives, and they in turn go out there and mentor other people. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how you can actually be free from destiny manipulators and work in the fulfillment of your purpose. I came across this scripture as I prepared for this particular podcast, and it's Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 7. Contemporary English Bible says, I have seen slaves on horseback, while princes walk on foot like slaves. I'm going to read to you from Amplified Version as well. Amplified Version Classic says, I have seen slaves on horses and princes walking like slaves on the earth. Sometimes the slavery that we experience in life are not physical slavery. They are mental slavery. And I will explain that to you. When somebody tells you, oh, you are so good, oh, you speak so well, I really feel that you will be a good broadcaster. You need to ask them, were they sitting together with God in a conference where God actually told them that you should be a broadcaster? What if that zeal, that strength, that energy is actually for you to nurture your children? What if those charisma that they saw you in is simply for you to be able to evangelize? But people will look at you for their own selfish interests, but they will look for something that will boost your ego and then they push it to you. Let me give you an example. I've fallen into lots of multi-level marketing businesses that does not work for me online. People will come to me, oh, these Jews, when you... At some point, I realized that I was actually a target for these people because they saw me doing things online, talking to people, and they felt I should be used to fulfill their own selfish mission. Most of the time when people tell you, oh, it's for your good, they are saying it's for their own good. Because why? They are up there already in whatever they are doing, whatever scheme they are doing. And I'm not saying some multi-level marketing doesn't work. I've done a lot of them in Nigeria. It does not just work for me. Most of the time, I'm the one that drink everything. Maybe a few family members buy from me. Sometimes I hardly convince somebody to join or like that. But ask me, I am very good at selling. I was born into entrepreneurship. I sell so well. I know how to sell. I know how to market if it's my product. So obviously that wasn't good for me. But because of their own selfish interest, they used me just to achieve their own purpose. That is manipulation. You need to watch out for those people. What about parents? Parents want to live their dreams through their children. Things they cannot achieve, they feel they can actually use their children to achieve those dreams. Whereas we have a lot of people who discovered so many inventions, Kentucky Fried Chicken, who discovered their mission even in their old age, and they pursue it and they still make great out of life even in their old age. But you just look at your children, you want them to be a lawyer, you want them to be a doctor. That is destiny manipulation. You have to stop, because you now see a lot of people, they're in this so-called lucrative endeavors, lucrative career. And at the end of the day, they have nothing to show for it because they have this inner struggle. And that inner struggle takes me back to, I have seen slaves on horseback while princes walk on foot like slaves. It is mental slavery for you to allow your ego to push you into what God does not have for you. What about pastors? Some pastors will see that this sister is vibrant or this brother is vibrant, and then they tell you, they just bring one brother from one corner of nowhere and they tell you, oh, that's your husband, you can marry this person. And then you marry someone who has a school leaving certificate alone or GED, and then you are a PhD holder, problem sets in. If you speak one big English, they don't understand, and you have lots of trouble in that marriage. That is manipulation. What about people who are very good in teaching children, or maybe even in the drama ministry? You just see that suddenly the church will just make them pastor. Or sometimes when you see some couple, they see that the husband is rich and then the wife is there teaching in the children department, and then they just suddenly just make the husband a pastor just because we want to tie people down. That is manipulation. And so people begins to struggle. If you are in that category, you do something to please someone, that is emotional and mental slavery. And that is why you are walking on foot. Walking on foot is relegation, because you are not riding on horseback. Riding on horseback is you walking in what God desires for your life. That's why you see some people might not be born again, but they can actually be walking in their purpose. They'll say, something told me. That's something that told them is actually the Spirit of God. Because when God created everyone, He created us to be a problem solver for each other. When God created us, He put a gift, a talent in you that you will use to save your environment, to save the people around you. And so if you're not walking in that space, you will not experience the best of God. So princes, people that know God, will be nothing, will be walking in the emotional slavery to their ego or shigo, as the case may be, if there's anything like that. You don't want to live in a slavery state of mind simply because your ego and the people around you are manipulating you to be what God does not want you to be. You know it. You know how much you're struggling. You know that since they gave you that position, you have been struggling to have time for God, to have time for your family. It's killing your family. It's killing your relationship. But then your ego loves it. That is mental slavery. Very soon, it will be evident to people that you are walking on the floor, on the earth. And, imagine what happens to people when they are walking on the floor. What happens? They are slowed down. They get tired easily. They can easily get bitten by a snake or anything. So if you stay in the space of emotional slavery, enjoying the accolade of men, while you go in and say, something is missing, you feel empty, then it's time for you to examine yourself. I have an assignment for you. Why don't you bring out your journal or a piece of paper, or open somewhere a note on your phone and write it. 5 major decisions that you've made in the last 5 years that came from somebody else that you are struggling with right now. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, how are you feeling about those decisions? Do you feel happy? Do you feel sad? Do you feel miserable? Do you feel fulfilled? How do you feel about those decisions? If you score less than 5 from your score or from that scale, then it's time to re-examine your decision and trace back, no matter how far you've gone. I pray for courage for you to step back. Take a time this weekend to relax. Spend 30 minutes sitting down still and quiet with minimum low lights in the room or in your car. Find a quiet place and listen for God's instruction again. God speaks every time to us as His children, but we allow our ego, our shigo, the accolade of men, the manipulation from people to cover what God is actually saying. There won't be provision when you are doing what God does not ask you to do. And so you will be struggling. You will be walking on the floor like slave. That is not what God desires for you. You are going to get to a certain stage in your life where all you want is going to be peace. All the rat race you're running, at some point, you will be tired of the rat race. But by then, maybe you would have overused your body. You would have stressed yourself beyond imagination. Why don't you sit down and listen to some of these teachings and look at how you can apply it? He said, come unto me, all ye that labor and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. That rest is you being able to leave everything that people wish you become and take on everything that God really wants you to become. Because that is when you will actually enjoy good success. Think about it and make an amendment today. I hope that helps somebody. Thank you for joining me. Like the video if you like it. Share the video with somebody that might need this message. And I want you to watch this video on why you're struggling, how you can actually restructure your mind from struggling when it comes to your purpose. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.